Right, Apple had an amazing quarter three earnings. It was like wow. Also at the end of August, Apple is going to become four shares. So one share is going to become four shares. Cheers to that, you guys. Cheers. So we're going to explore what did its Q3 earnings really mean? What are the financials showing? What is its growth areas? And of course, most importantly, is it fair value? And is it a buy now? So if you own a position in Apple or you're looking to own a position in Apple, you got to be watching this video. So stick around. Guys, if you want me to make more of these videos for you, please smash that like button so that I know to create more of these videos for you. Okay, okay, let's be serious. Okay, let's get into the financials. So as we all know, Apple has a ton of products. They got the iPhone, they got the iPads, they got the Macs. They've also got the services industry being the music subscription, and they also have the Apple Watch, and they also have gaming, and then they have other the Apple Pay, the Apple credit card, and maybe gaming's in there. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, but let's not focus that on the other because that's actually a very, very small percentage of its overall revenue. You can see that the iPhone has been its biggest revenue source. And I think although you can see that the iPhone sales have actually been flattening out and kind of going down a bit, it really is a distribution platform. I'm one of those guilty Apple consumers. You know, once you buy the iPhone, they get sucked in with the music subscription. Then you got to buy its cloud storage because you got a ton of photos and videos to store. Plus, your kids are using your old iPhone, so they got to store their own photos and they also want to buy their own music. And then we've got iPads all over the place. And then I work on my Mac computer. And then I bought its AirPods. I haven't bought its watch, but I was actually really seriously considering buying its watch. But anyways, all you can say is Apple consumer is it really has an amazing moat. So you can see that its biggest growth has been its service area. It's actually expanding. And that's actually one of the biggest explosions of growth was its services model in the Q3. What was surprising about the Q3 earnings was that the Apple stores were closed, primarily closed in April, like around the world. And so people weren't expecting Apple to be doing this well, and hence the surge in stock price. And its revenue and operating income. As you can see, Apple has a beautiful balance sheet to it. Revenue has been growing steadily. It kind of actually dipped a little bit compared to 2018 versus 2019. Now, we don't know what its revenue is looking like for 2020, but it looks pretty promising. Like it's going to beat for sure 2019. And I'll explain why. Then also you look at the gross profit, it's actually gone, it's fairly stable in the last 2 years. Again, there was a bit of a drop in 2019 compared to 2018, but I think that's going to again change for 2020. Apple has been spending a ton of money in R&D, a bit over 4 billion, just like Microsoft has been doing. Now, its R&D money has actually been growing year after year after year. Now, again, they're not one of those companies, the first ones to launch a new product. Rather, they're type of company that observes other tech companies as they're producing products. Then they start producing a product that makes it much better, much simpler, much more intuitive to you. Now, look at Apple's cash position. It's like amazing. I mean, at its peak, it had, $275 billion dollars. That was back in 2017. That's probably when it's like, oh my God, what are we gonna do with all its cash? Its net cash position was also crazy high. Like, and thankfully it's been actually slowly decreasing its net cash position, probably because it's been buying back shares. It's been buying out a lot of great companies, one of which is actually in the augmented reality world. As you can see, even its net cash position quarter after quarter, it's been steadily decreasing. Same with its total cash position. Now, I'm going to show you something really, really interesting here that no one's really talked about in any videos. And this is going to give you a hint of what it can do to its stock price. For the years, its outstanding shares has actually been decreasing. Now, no one's actually, I don't think a lot of people have actually talked about this in any video right now. And this is going to give you a hint of what can it do to stock price. Partly why Apple's stock price has actually been surging for a very, very long time, despite the fact that its iPhone sales have been flattening or plateauing or even decreasing compared to previous years. Okay, so what happens when outstanding shares start shrinking? Apple starts retiring shares. It means that the price per share is actually worth more because based on its amount of cash it has, based on its revenue per share, everything about it per share is worth that much more because there's just less shares to distribute around. For example, if Apple's only worth $100 and only had 10 shares in the market, then all of a sudden Apple start buying, just said, I'm going to take back one share. I'm going to buy back its one share and I'm going to expire it. That means there's only 9 shares that's left in the stock market. But Apple's still worth $100. So $100 divided by 9 shares is all of a sudden equal to $11 per share versus when it had 10 shares in the stock market and it was still worth $100 divided by 10 is $10. So as you can see, the less and less shares that are out there, each share is worth more. And this is going to give you a little bit of an indication what's yet to come for Apple. Now let's look at its revenue multiple because that's going to give you a bit of indication of its fair value right now. Since 2016, Apple has been yo-yoing 2x to 4x of its revenue. But recently, because of the big surge in stock price, like in one day more than 10%, it's actually skyrocketed to between 5 and 6, which is a lot higher than its 2 to 4 times revenue, which actually says that the Apple stock price is actually quite pricey right now. But this is looking at the past. Really, you got to look at the future. And really, the stock price right now is pricing in the growth that it just had in its amazing Q3. Also, I betcha the analysts and all the institutions are pricing in what is going to be probably the biggest cycle of new iPhones in September because there's a lot of people like me who've been holding off on upgrading its iPhone forever. And now that they're producing iPhones with 5G as of September, it's going to start another new adoption and another new breath of sales for iPhones for all those people out there who are holding on their old iPhones. So what I'm saying is that the stock price is already pricing in a bit of a surge of the iPhone sales that are going to come out in September. It's also pricing in that it's going to split 4 ways in August, although it really doesn't change its total market valuation Apple, but psychologically, people are just getting in because it's going to split 4 ways. So what does it mean? Does it mean it's a buy right now? I would say personally, if because I already own positions at Apple, I'm not really looking to buy more and more Apple. Now, I might buy like maybe once in a while, maybe once every 2 months when I see a bit of a dip, but I'm not buying any mega shares until I see a bigger pullback in the stock price. And again, I've seen Apple pull back as much as 5 to 10%, 15%. Well, of course, in mid-March, it pulled back a lot because of the situation, which was like 1 in 100-year event. But typically, it pulls back quite a bit. You're nearing the end of the year cycle when a lot of the institutions have to sell off their shares to get their performance bonuses. You always see a bit of sell-off in Apple. Also, if Apple ever misses earnings, like just by smidgen, or it didn't grow as expected, like growth stocks tank. And that's really the time when you can pick up more and more shares. Now, for those of you who don't own a position in Apple, and you're looking to buy for the long term, I think then go ahead, buy Apple if you're going to be holding on for 3 to 5 years. But again, I'm not your financial advisor. You got to assess your financial position and see, what you see Apple as a business model, where its growth potential. So where I can share is that there's 5G coming out in September. We've also heard of the Titan project, which is the Apple car that they've been spending a ton of money, a ton of people on the software for Apple cars. They're also looking at Apple glasses. And I think with the 5G coming out and having more and more infrastructure to support 5G in North America, it's going to make Apple glasses even more viable and practical for people because you could, for example, play gaming everywhere. You could do augmented reality anywhere, everywhere. Same with VR, so much faster because 5G just makes the connections and the processing of data so much faster that you can play anything, anywhere, like anytime. The thing about Apple is that they know how to continuously improve and innovate based on its first product fast and it gets new, it just keeps pumping out more and more products that are better than the last one. And also, Apple's becoming more of a services revenue model. So, really, the iPhone is really a distribution platform for ongoing revenue for its music subscription, for its cloud storage subscription, for you to pay on Apple Pay, for you to use its credit card. And one of the big hindrances for people to adopt the iPhone is price. And with the products like Apple Pay and its Apple Card, which is allowing people to finance their expensive Macs, their expensive iPhones, with 0% interest, it's making it become, I guess, less of an expense to the wallet, cash flow wise, for the regular consumer. So, you guys, what do you guys think about Apple? Are you guys looking to build a position in it? And how long are you planning to hold? I'm not in any rush to buy more positions, but I'm very excited that Apple is splitting into 4 shares end of August, which makes it seem psychologically more affordable to the regular consumer. And I think this is going to do a lot to its stock price. My kids are using Apple products. I know a lot of my friends, their kids are also using their parents' older iPhones. So we got already a great moat. Apple has an amazing moat, and they're just going to gain more and more revenue. And with retirement shares, it just means that over time, Apple shares are just going to be worth that much more. Anyways, I hope you found this video super helpful. If so, give me a thumbs up and let me know. Do you guys own a position in Apple? What do you guys think about the growth in Apple?